My name is Sigrun Wagner and I'm a senior lecturer in international business and sustainability.
My name is Annika Zein. I'm a lecturer in strategy and sustainability at the School of Management and also a co-director for student experience.
I come from a very international background myself. I grew up in Germany, I have a Norwegian mother and I've lived in the UK for a third of my life. My PhD was on environmental regulations for multinational enterprises and through that and living across several countries, what really got me into the area of sustainability and responsibility are the different international attitudes to the environment.
Before I came to Royal Holloway, I did my PhD in social entrepreneurship at a university in Germany. Social entrepreneurship is basically where people use entrepreneurship, develop startups in order to fill a societal need that has so far not been addressed at all or not been fully addressed. I think the major benefit of studying corporate responsibility is that you get a much more comprehensive view of a business and the company, because we don't just look at what happens internally in the company, but also how it sort of interacts with its external environment.
What we've seen over the past few years, for example, the Volkswagen emissions scandal, here corporate responsibility really is important and significant for us to study how can we respond to that, how can companies operate being responsible to their shareholders but also to their wider stakeholders.
An additional advantage of studying corporate responsibility is that we don't just look at businesses, we also look at non-profit organizations, we look at social enterprises, we even look at political organizations. So this again feeds into building up this comprehensive view of how a business interacts with society and thereby can serve its customers much better, serve its clients and employees much better, but at the same time also serve its sort of local community in a much better way and at the same time still be profitable. And I think that's sort of what's unique about studying corporate responsibility.
The students get introduced to responsible business in the first year where they have an option of taking MN 1125, which is Foundations for Responsible Business, where they get introduced to sort of the environmental and social side very broadly, also with the help of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and applying that to an industry or company of their choice.
I think generally our corporate responsibility courses are sort of a very good mixture between theory and practice. So we have some courses like corporate governance that it's a bit more theoretical. Then you have other courses such as responsible entrepreneurship that is highly practical. So you really have to figuratively get your hands dirty in those courses. So I think that sort of broadens one's perspective in terms of learning experience. And also I think just the sheer variety of topics that we cover, from political engagement to environmental protection to human rights, is also really, really interesting and just sort of gives a different flavor to a business degree.
So on the corporate responsibility pathway, students do 2 courses in the second year and then 4 courses in the final year. And the 2 courses in the second year, that's MN 2805, that's business and the natural environment. What we look at sort of the relationship between natural resources and other resources that businesses use, whether that's financial or social or economic resources. And we sort of choose 3 challenges that we look at: environmental challenges, climate change, pollution and waste. And then we look at it, how can companies address that? And then MN 2815, which is business, politics and society. And that really gives students a broad introduction into the 2 main areas of the social and the environmental context within which corporations operate.
I predominantly teach third-year students. In term 1 there are 2 electives in corporate responsibility. One is responsible entrepreneurship and innovation. Basically, you as students have the opportunity to develop your own ideas for a startup, which can be non-profit, which can be for-profit, that on top of trying to earn money also tries to do something for society or the environment. In this course, we do a lot of crazy things. We play with Lego, we go on field trips and do all kinds of very sort of design thinking based activities. The other course that runs in the first term of your final year is corporate governance. We sort of take the look at how would you run an organization at the highest level possible. So it very much sort of asks, how do you actually govern a company or any organization for that matter. In term 2, There's a course called Organizations and Accountability. This course very much looks at both NGOs and companies again, and particularly from the perspective of how do you make sure companies are doing what they say they're doing.
So we want to prepare our students for a world, for a business environment that is changing. We want to prepare them for the challenges of where they might be asked by their shareholders and other stakeholders, what are you doing to be responsible? And so we've got the pathway that students can choose, but we also want to make sure that all students have a foundation to go out into the workplace. So all students in the final year take the course MN 3915, Responsible Business in Context, where they get introduced to the various topics of sustainability, responsibility and ethics, the triple bottom line, how to create stakeholder value in addition to shareholder value, and how to aim for moral excellence in their businesses.